me. Oh, that's pretty perfect. Where you at? Oh, Miss Kiwi. Make him. Are you ready? You ready? We gotta see this thing. How far it's having. That's a good song. I like it. Again, this is just road. Anyway, three. The footsteps of the all great forest and the everlasting whatever. Turn these tunes off. Anyhow, Kiwi. I was watching. So even though I'm not like checking this just yet, now right now, as time allows. Yes, Mister. Yeah. That's probably just loud anyway. Anyhow, just so I can hear myself think in the reverie of silence. All right, Kiwi, what do you want to talk about? Whole point of this whole thing. Something to do in the meantime. Today, wonderful day at work today. Picking up trash. Everybody's trash. Got the trash out there. That's alright. Part 3. Just get into the meat and potatoes now since it's just me and my thoughts anyhow. People go boots on the ground, becoming the shadow of Forrest. And for us to do boots on the ground story, a story that Forrest shared. So part 3 would be my Flywater for me, so that'll eventually bring me Forrest has been. Everybody else is doing it. Everybody trying to get there. So if you like to be part of project, you are more than welcome. All you gotta do is just leave a comment. Since it's probably spotty, is it? Please let me know. I can always take this inside, but the board don't really go inside. You know, it's an outside board. It's like taking a piece of and bringing it in. It'd be kind of messy inside. I wouldn't like it. Hope that the audio and the video is at least somewhat synced. If you are new to Project X or are a part of Project X already and you've given down your state or would like to give your state, just go ahead, go click, 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 and type in a state. Because Kiwi, what's your state? Montana. Well, you got 2 people watching you there, buddy. So tell them Montana. They come to see you say Montana. Get away from them. Oh, so through this Project X. Part 3, the reason why a storyline. Today I went out melody detecting. Kind of my hobby job. It's actually interesting. Follow a lot of history because Forrest Fenns kind of helped massage that a little bit with the Lewis and Clark, and so part of where I'm metal detecting it's a very big bottleneck of migration. There's a lot of up here, the mountains just in, and there's just a portion of the state that it runs right through in the area. Let's say for sure if Lewiston, I know obviously Lewiston, Idaho is where, if I'm not mistaken, was named after Lewis and Clark. But Forrest shares stories. You guys pop down your state. Let's rolling again, or like rolling with interaction between you guys, Kiwi, in this board. So I mean, we already have 4 people that picked New Mexico, but the thing about New Mexico, you have to have stories that show uh, how it affects that person. You know what I mean? Like, uh, logically, I see Forrest going down there and, you know, checking out New Mexico to put his life back together. Um, it's very reasonable that New Mexico would be a place that he's got his family and his loved ones, and everything that he cherishes is right there. So New Mexico, yeah, why not? But what story? Part share your story, and when you share your story, it's okay. Okay, missed by an inch, you missed by a mile. Huh, Mr. Kiwi? You say Montana yet? Montana. Joe Montana. Montana. You thirsty? He's thirsty. He's probably thirsty. So now there's like 5 people. 5 people watching Kiwi. Now you might already have your name on Project X with a state, but I don't know your story. What one story from the thrill of the chase, Too Far to Walk, or Once Upon a While brought you to your state? And if you're new, if you're in this chat room, watch now. Refresh my memory. Type down and share part 3, the story. Let's get some circles going around these states so that you start seeing the ripple effect from the stories. How the stories affected Mr. Fenn. How did the stories guide and shape Forrest to want to put a certain state or a couple states ago? Obviously, that one secret location is in one state. I mean, it'd be kind of interesting to see if he's got a treasure chest half on this side and half on this side. So, you know, you never know. Anything's possible. 6 people. 6 people watching Kiwi right now. Huh. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Well, they think I'm just talking to myself. Anyway, getting in there. Add a state. Be a part of Project X. It's going to be out. Also, get your name out there. Everybody deserves a piece of this pot. Everybody into it has given perspective to Forrest Fenn and to themselves, you know. And there's just connections that people have that are simple and simplified, either emotional or logical, you know. What's up, Tony? You gonna be a part of Project X? Go ahead. Type down your state. We'll add your dot here. This dot is all the searchers. Each one has a certain state with a certain reason. So, Wyoming, Montana. So Wyoming, Montana. So, would you lean that his secret is more laid into Montana or more laid into Wyoming? Because I can't split your dot in half. Oh, and I gotta add Tony. Oh wait, no. CT 2020. Wyoming or Montana. Yeah, so I need to put your dot down, I would have to say, you know, what would be your one state that the chest would be in. Montana. Okay, so we put a dot down. So far we have Montana. Try to say that like 5 times slower. Montana. And then we have Flywater. So Flywater are stories that people have shared. So somebody else shared that that Montana Gold was their storyline that connected them from Forrest. What would be your one storyline between his 3 books? Because this is to keep it simple, you know. You just gotta share, keep it simple, and it keeps the conversation kind of going, you know. Because part 3, again, storylines, and it's just to see what people are leaning towards. So I guess, why is it that? Why is it that? Like it as in life, or it as in that moth flying around? Kiwi. Right? So, let's mention to somebody else about in a way, I could be wise and think like Forrest, but it's only one dot. I could be wise and think like myself, okay? That's only one dot. I could be wise and think like a whole bunch of people. That would make sense that Forrest would have picked one of these states logically, because maybe or maybe not, it might have had that emotional, very strong emotional connection to, everything that Forrest may or may not believe, I guess. So why is it like that? Let's go. What is that story? Is that a storyline? What is that? That don't ring a bell as a storyline for Montana. So we'll put your dot there anyway. Yeah, we get you a good dot. Nice dot right there. And I'll write your name down there on the. Oh, I'll just add you here in when I sign off there. I'll add you on there. CT 2020. I don't know. This is just a conversational thing to get people out there, because Forrest Fenns shares stories. His was Flywater. It made sense for me to pick one place, Montana, because I think he had the emotional connection. But it's interesting, people sit there and they'll follow history, and I was talking about how I went to work today, metal detecting, and I found these three beautiful pieces, and it's because of the area that I'm metal detecting. It's a bottleneck of the Snake River. And so there's this piece here, which I don't know if you could see. Kiwi. We're showing them arrowheads that we found metal detecting today. And, piece of it broke. All right. So this, and I'll explain why that I would have to simplify and say that this would actually be a piece of an arrowhead. I mean, that's a nice chunk right there. Then I found this guy. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Forrest has that Clovis collection or something like that. Now, I'm not saying that these are Clovis points, but you would have to assume that there's a difference between what they used to make, things that had, like the Clovis, they had an arrowhead, which is more, kind of, so Clovis, arrowhead, older, I think, newer, where they really started getting into that napping. But anyway, stories, everybody has a storyline. I need a title. What title in his book, his 3 books, gives you Montana? So while I'm waiting for you to give me a storyline there, CT and Tony, jump on in. Let's put your dot down. So I found this guy today. And so when I was sitting there saying about an arrowhead, if you look at how it arches, let's see, that might be fuzzy. There we go. There you go. And again, I'll explain why, I deduced that these are arrowheads of some sort, following Forrest Fenns because of the stories he shared about Lewis and Clark, I'm sure have been all along this area. But then there's this beauty right here, which the metal detector went off, and so I was, sometimes when I'm swinging the metal detector, I'll look away instead of looking down. Peripheral, when the sound, my sight will be drawn to that sound instead of me looking, searching for that sound. And so I think it just makes it, it's just a different perspective of metal detecting. But I was looking away and I saw this little beauty. And it's a little beauty. I mean, seriously. See, I gotta wait for it to catch up because I'm not sure what's going on. And I'm not even sure you can see that, but so this being more of a modern arrowhead, being more, that's gonna go through and really. So you look here on this bottom side, and I'm not sure if you can see the notch right there, the notch right here too. So this arrowhead, I would assume, was made for game bird when they were hunting the game bird. You know what I mean? So the reason why I think that these are arrowheads and they look like arrowheads is because rocks don't sit there and chip themselves very elegantly to make a sharp point. I've known this for a while, but it's really fascinating when I just too long ago, and the ancestors, and they were going back 20, 30 years over Panogo, Africa, I think is where they found some pretty old fossils, going back and showing some nice primitive tools that they were using for their shellfish. But one of the things was there was a big crevasse inside the ground just north inland from Panogo, and down below they were showing the rocks and how they would sit there and chuck or nap and break off pieces of the rock to make it, its arrowhead. And so I found 3 of those beauties today, chasing, the Lewis and Clark, trying to, increase the story, thinking about, part 3, how to explain part 3. So Lewis and Clark would be a story that Forrest shared in his books that would, give us a state to put a circle around to see how it affects Forrest either emotionally and logically. So yeah, part 3. If you braved this long, thanks. Leave a comment. I mean, at least we got another state added to this, which is good, because I'm going to keep pushing it out there, because there'll be a lot of people that they've already shared places that they've searched, whether it's a state that's been searched or not. It's still a perspective that somebody used to look at Forrest Fenn to figure out why Forrest Fenn would have hidden a treasure away in a certain area. So it'd be interesting to see what the populace is on what state would really be the state that connects Forrest Fenn to the search. So leave a comment, Project X, and then, do part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, or at least you do 1, 2, and 3. Part 1 is who you are. We got CT 2020. Waiting on Tony to give us a dot. Montana, New Mexico, but you see, New Mexico, Montana, they both got 4, and Wyoming and Colorado got 1. So it just makes you wonder why people are leaning. See, I think people are leaning more logically towards the New Mexico. People are leaning more emotionally to Montana, and Wyoming and Colorado are the in-between states that he would go in between. So Project X, leave a comment. Like, don't like, it don't matter. These are just my thoughts, and I appreciate you guys hanging around and listening. Somebody tried to create a project to give people something to open up and talk about, and then share stories one way or another. It's just all part of the thing. They were going up during the Depression. Spent a few hours skinny dipping in a warm mountain stream just to get clean after a couple of weeks with no shower or bathing in the bath. Is I would say is the key probably for you. I mean, so that is and that's so I would say, Tony, are you trying to say that your state would be Wyoming, where just that whole state, because river bathing is best, and I know that very well. Is to me, I would think river bathing is best is, in the beginning where halts. To me, if I was trying to be Forrest, and like it's just being in a place that you're very content, just relaxing in the water, being able to control the temperature, just by moving an inch or two, and it's just you and nothing else but nature around you, and it to me, that would be a very good place to call warm waters, because those are the waters that really, you know what I mean? Those are the waters that you remember and you talk about. The stories, the storylines that tie us to states, for whatever reason, emotional or logical. So I would almost put you down for a dot on Wyoming, but, everybody's beginning and end for the poem is always going to be different. And I don't think there ever is, two that are the same. They may be on the same path, and doesn't mean that they're the same. Because river bathing is best is his warm water. Warm water goes down the fire hole and halts at the Gibbon in the Madison. So to me, that's where I would start, right there. Not where he bathed. That's just telling you of what warm waters would be to somebody. In my perspective here in this search, Yeah, that's a nice one. I'm really surprised to have found that one. That's pretty. I wonder. Okay, so there's a curve, and it looks like the angle would be more curved this way, and this side would be more straighter, almost like it was used for, maybe skinning, because it's a bigger blade. You know what I mean? See, it's interesting to play around with things that you find that somebody else used as part of their story. That one is just like, man. Small game coyotes, maybe. But yeah, this one's definitely got to be, that's got to be game bird. You're going for game bird with that one. Stories. Everything has a story. People have stories. Yep. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He definitely outdid himself up there. I mean, so here's the thing. Again, this is our perspective, and looking at this whole Forrest thing. I'm trying to step away from looking at Forrest. That's too focused. And I'm not trying to look at everybody else's search areas, because that's just too broad. And so the only way to find a balance in between this maze is to sum up and simplify, what state would best be one. And to look at it on a whole, like to step away from Forrest, then you're looking at 4 states other than specific reasons. And when you look at it as a whole, so I go mining, okay? And I mine up in Idaho City. And, you can't call yourself a miner unless you've tried and found nothing. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but it sounds pretty good. And so we'll go with that one. found a lot of nothing, but I also have found gold. And so when I go up there gold mining, I don't look at the mines or the people where they were mining, but rather at a bigger picture of the collaborative. So say this is a mine. These are mining camps and mining towns. Okay? So now I'm getting a bigger perspective of where they were mining and why they were mining. The hills and valleys of life. And so if I step away from looking at the gold, if I step away from looking at the mining camps, I can see how the earth just changed and it shifts, and it just on a bigger scale, a bigger perspective, kind of like looking at the Forrest Fenns in the poem, just that perspective, following it down. But anyway, I always digress. Three arrowheads today, or spearhead, one spearhead maybe, one skinner, one bird arrow. But thanks for hanging out. Leave a comment. And let's see who else gets involved in this, and let's see how far this goes, because it'll keep rolling. It won't stop here, just like the water. Just keep on rolling. So I'm gonna keep on rolling out of here, and at least we got one more. I would, like I said, I'm not sure if Tony is a Wyoming or Montana. But boy, that is good. Now I don't want to put down a dot just yet, but time comes, we'll figure it out. That's why I'm keeping track of it on Project X, seeing who's participating, who's looking at this search and following it, and who thinks what the connections are between Forrest and his secret state. So yeah, we'll check it out. Anyway, I'm gonna head on out of here, and Kiwi, what's your state? Montana. All right. Let me say bye-bye. Bye-bye? No, that ain't bye-bye. Anyway, I'll catch you later. Thanks. And part 4, what is your connection to the chase? Logical, emotional. Boy, that is going to be an interesting one. So we'll see that one whenever, as the time allows. So, yep. For real, keep it safe. We'll check you on the flip side.